Welcome back. Here we are again. I'm going to show you how to analyze the quality of time with the 64 Keys expert features. I will show you the transit function with the next 12 days display, the transit timeline where you can scroll the neutrino weather, and I will show you how to create ephemeris for all planets. That means seeing the forecast when planets change the gate and lines. And I will show you how you can analyze life stages in a chart with the life script and for cycles like Saturn return, Uranus opposition, or Chiron return. You can access the transit features by clicking on Transit in a chart. Here, a transit chart with the actual neutrino weather is automatically created. As I already showed you in the basic video, you can create this transit chart for any date and time you like. What you can also do in the expert version is to open this drop-down menu here, and this shows you the neutrino weather influence for the next 12 days. So it always works with the actual neutrino weather and then 24 hours. This is of course a great feature if you are studying the neutrino weather and the influence on yourself on a regular basis, or of course for reflectors or observers to get an overview about what will be changing in their body graph in the next 12 days. When you scroll down and click on Transit Timeline, this amazing feature opens. It's a transit timeline where you see all activations of the planets, Sun, Earth, nodes, Pluto up to Chiron. Here you always see the actual date that you selected in the transit function. And this transit timeline is always created with regard to the respective chart. So the colorings here indicate whether these gates here are activated harmonic gates. That means they are creating electromagnetic channels in your chart. Or they are activated again. That means you have the gate and the transit is activating it again. Or it's a new activation where there's nothing activated in the chart. This transit timeline is opened for the next month, but you can also change it for the next 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. And you can also zoom in the timeline, either with your mouse. If you softly scroll in, it opens up. So you can even see the activations of the quicker moving planets like the Moon or Mercury or Venus. If you scroll down again, it closes again so that you only see the slower moving planets that stay in a gate for a longer time. So you can analyze transits in great detail. You can see right away what the planetary activations, how they are influencing the respective chart. You can also click on a gate, like here on Uranus in gate 20, and you can see how long this transit will last, how long Uranus is going to be in this gate and in this line. You can also see when planets are retrograde, like let's do this for Mercury. Mercury is currently retrograde as I'm doing the video. Currently, it's in gate 33 in the first line, and it's moving backwards. It's going into the 31st gate in the 6th line, and then in the 5th line, and in the 4th line, and in the 3rd line. And then it stays there for a longer time, and then it moves on again, going up in the lines. You can see that here it changes to 31.4 again, and 5, and so on. So that was the transit timeline. There is one more feature on this page. This is the wheel for the current transit. And here you can see the activations in the wheel, both of the original chart and for the transit. You can toggle this view to only display natal activations or the transit activations. So in this case, we can see that Aaron's design sun is in gate 7. And the current sun is in gate 33. Very soon, it will be Aaron's design birthday. You can also save this transit. So it's then stored in the transit list. And from the 64 Key start page, when you click on transits, you can access your saved transits. So you can do that for important meetings or special days in your life. So let's move on to the next feature in 64 Keys. It's about analyzing life stages. So in the overview, you already have the dates for the different stages of life, like the first Saturn return, the Uranus opposition, Chiron return, and so on. And you can access the details for these life stages by clicking on cycles. So the first page that opens up here is the so-called life script. It gives you an overview about those different life stages. You can see this is the whole life cycle. And this life cycle is divided into stages. The first is the Saturn cycle. Then there is the Uranus cycle in the midlife, in the half-life. That also initiates this nodal shift from the south nodes to the north nodes. And then there's the Chiron cycle. So this life script gives a precise overview on the different life stages and what will change. For example, the crosses here you can see. But also the profiles, how they change. So for example, Chiron is a 3-5, but the Saturn cycle brings the impulse of being a 6-2. It's like a new role that you are asked to play, or impulses that give you the ability to take over this new role. So his first Saturn cycle is a cross of confrontation with a 6-2 profile. So this mission is about confronting other people with the deliberate use of ego strength, tactic, and the power of conviction. So this is the role or the task that Aaron will encounter from this date on. And this is going to last as a major theme until the next cycle, which is the Uranus opposition that comes in the form of a cross of penetration in the 4-6 profile in 2030. And then there's the next life stage. This is the Chiron return from 2037, a cross of love in the 1-4 profile. What else do you see in the life script? You see the corresponding nodes. So these are the natal nodes of Aaron. You can cross-check it with the chart here. And in this Saturn cycle, which Aaron is currently in, he has these nodes. Here in small, you have the talent sequence, the health, environment, motivation, and perspective. And if you want to analyze this Saturn cycle in detail, you can create a cycle chart here. And this, like the transit, gives you detailed information on the cycle, but in contrast to the transit function, which only displays the personality side, so the neutrino weather, here you also have a design side, because for those cycles, you also have an unconscious influence on your body. Next feature that's new in the expert version is the design module. You will find it when you click on the dictionary, and here you go to the design module. So this design module allows you to create any body graph or any wheel for presentation purposes or social media postings or in a workshop if you just want to explain something. You can simply click it like that. You can click on the centers to color them in. So the first click is always orange, like the design side, and the next click will make it blue for the personality side. And if you click it again, it's colored in both blue and orange for design plus personality. The same goes for the wheel here. So this way you can create any graphic you like. You can create PDFs of the chart and the wheel. If you want to have a high resolution image that you can scale in any format you like, or you can download PNG files. They are optimized for using them on the internet, for example, social media postings. There's one more feature I would like to introduce to you in the expert version, and this has to do with the amino acids. There's a fascinating correlation between human design and our DNA, or the genetic code in general. For example, the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching exactly correspond with the 64 codons in our DNA. Let me share a bit about this. This graphic shows the genetic codon sun. So this is a scientific graphic that displays the 64 codons of our DNA that are coding the blueprint of our 20 amino acids, the proteins, the building blocks of life. And there's a mathematical structure behind that. And this mathematical structure corresponds exactly with the mathematical structure and order of the 64 hexagrams or 64 gates in human design. So there are essential amino acids, and again, you have a color coding here. There are non-essential amino acids, and there are stop codons. They are not translated into proteins, rather they terminate genetic processes like transcription and translation. But I don't want to get into much detail in this video. I will do that in a later video, but let me show you how we integrated the amino acids in 64 keys. I will show you this with my chart. In the chart overview, scroll down and go to this drop-down menu, the activated amino acids. And here you can see which gate is activated in your chart and how it corresponds with the amino acids. And you can see if it's activated from the personality side in blue or from the design side in orange, or both design and personality. You can look for the different amino acids. They are grouped in chemical subgroups, and you can look for the stop codons. There is no practical value of this analysis yet, so don't jump into conclusions. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't eat an amino acid that is not activated or that it's not working, that you should eat more of amino acids you have activated. Please don't jump into those conclusions. It's just for research purposes, but it's very interesting to study. So this was our tour on the 64 Keys expert features. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see next. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you found that helpful. See you.